Hello and welcome to Wednesday Live with Evie, where each week I share about a topic relating to business and productivity. So if you are watching, whether the recording or live, say hello down below. Let me know that you're here. And today is number Wednesday Live with Evie number 81. And the topic is how a not to-do list can keep you sane. So in the comments below, let me know like what off the top of your head is on your to-do list, or your not to-do list. Share one thing below that is on your not to-do list. And we're going to talk a little bit more about what some of those things might be here in just a minute. But first, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Evie Burke, and I help women entrepreneurs take their productivity to a new level. So you have the ability to just be, so the people that work with me have the ability to just be fully present with the people that they are spending their off hours with. So they're not worrying about what didn't I get done today or what needs to be done tomorrow, but instead they can just be present with the people they want to be present with and not have all those extra worries or feel like they're running out of time. So back to today's topic. So in the newsletter article this week, and in the description here, I painted a picture. I painted a scene. And I'm going to go through that scene with you right now. So you're going through your day. You're checking your email, and you notice that somebody's offering a webinar or maybe a presentation about that hot new social media platform. And you look at it and you're like, oh, well, that's interesting. And you skim the email and you read why it's important for you to be on that platform right now, and you delete the email. And later you're scrolling through Facebook or some other social media, and you're seeing a bunch of people talking about the same hot social media platform. And one of them's offering a free challenge that will teach you the ins and the outs of how to use this platform. And you suddenly have this twinge that, oh, this is something I should be doing. I'm missing out. And you quickly sign up and then go and create an account on this hot new platform. But as you're looking at your to-do list, you're wondering where you're going to find the time for not only the challenge activities, but continuing with this platform after that. And you just get really overwhelmed. You know, this is the third new thing that you've added to your list, and it's only Wednesday. And you try to breathe through it and remind yourself that you need to stay up to date on what the hot new things are in social media so that you can reach as many people as you can with your business so you can have more success. But you're working so much, your to-do list is so long, and you're so stressed out that you're wondering if it's really worth it. So, end scene. That is kind of a combination of my own experiences with this sort of thing and a conversation that I was having with somebody last week. And usually for me, this scenario happens when I am feeling behind, or I'm feeling like I'm missing out, or I feel like maybe I'm doing something wrong, or I need an income flux now, or everyone's talking about this thing, and the little nagging piece that says, oh, maybe you should be doing that. I kind of give into it. And it can also happen when, I see the same thing pop up a bunch of times. And some people say that when the same thing is coming up for you over and over and over again, that it's a sign that maybe it's something you need to look into. And sometimes that's true. Sometimes that's absolutely true. But it could also be an opportunity for you to stand firm for what you know is right for you and your business right now, and continue to say no. Remake that decision that that thing isn't what you need to focus on right now, right? Because we're making decisions or redeciding things all the time in our business, right? We create a to-do list, and every minute or every time we look at the list, we redecide that those are the things that are important to us, if you have a to-do list, right? So it's usually not just one thing though. When we're having these things come up, it's usually not just one thing that we're jumping on or into when we're at this point. It's also other webinars or presentations. It's signing up for lots of freebies because you might need that information later, or joining a bunch of newsletters because you want to stay in the loop about the topic that this person is an expert in. But ultimately, this isn't a recipe for success. It's a recipe for crazy making, because I know that's what it does to me when I sign up for a bunch of things, whether it's a bunch of webinars or a bunch of presentations or a bunch of new newsletters or a combination of all those things. It's a opportunity for me to drive myself crazy is all it really is. And it keeps your calendar full of other people's content. It keeps your inbox overflowing, and it keeps you wondering how you're going to find time to do all this new stuff that you've signed up for and trying to read through, in addition to all of the things you're already working on and wanting to make progress on. And this is where a not to do list can come in handy. What are the things that you don't need to be doing right now, or the things that you don't need more of? All right, so some things to think about, some things you might want to include in this not to do list are week-long challenges that don't line up with the things that you're already doing. So maybe if you're really, really active, or you one of your goals is to become more active and more involved on Instagram, maybe then that week-long Instagram challenge is a great opportunity for you to ramp that up. But if you're not on Instagram, if you're not focused on that platform or whatever the platform is right now, then this isn't necessarily the time to start learning something new. Stay focused on the things that you've already set your goals around. Some other things you might think about, or that might be on your not to do list, are quick checking of Facebook or whatever your flavor of social media, losing time on social media is. That might be something to consider. The quick checking of your email. So these are things where they might be on your not to do list, and instead you have like specific spots throughout your day where you pop in and make sure that there's nothing important, or a specific time of day where you just go through and clean out your email so that you can stay on top of it. Oh, somebody's here liking things. Who is that? Let's see. Oh, I have Eileen and Sally. Welcome, ladies. So some other things that might be on your not to do list are signing up for other email lists, because it just clogs up your inbox, right? Or signing up for freebies or ebooks because you might need that information later. You know what? That information will still be out there later. You can search for it, you can find it, and you'll probably find more up-to-date information. Quick aside, I was going through some printouts I had saved to read later, and some of them were like 2 or 3 years old, and one of them was about, how to make the most out of your Facebook page or something like that. It was 3 years old. Do you know how much Facebook or any social media changes over the course of 6 months, not to mention 3 years? So me signing up for that freebie and printing it out to read later when I had time because it was going to be important information, it didn't matter, right? It got tossed. And I had unsubscribed from that list like a long time ago. And then some other things that can be on your not to do list, or another thing that can be on your not to do list, is any item that you're going to work on next week. So sometimes we know that something's coming up and we get worried about it, and we get, tight about it. No, this has to get done. But if it's on your list for next week, let it go this week. Focus on the things that need to get done this week, and trust that you will have the time and you will make the time to get that other item done next week when you've put it on your schedule, right? So here's a couple of ways to find other items that maybe should be on your not to do list. And one thing to do is review your last month and look at the things that you were doing that now seem like maybe you didn't need to spend your time on them, or maybe you spread yourself a little thin, and what were some of the contributing factors there? Because that can be really helpful information that will inform what you don't want to do this month, right? And another thing to do is review your goals for the year or the quarter or the month. What are the things that you're working toward? And look at some of the to-dos you've added to your list, or the things you've been thinking about adding to your list, and notice if those are in line with those goals, or are they diversions. So if a goal for the year has been to increase engagement on your Facebook page, does learning, how to write a perfect email, does that really mesh with that? What are those things that you've added to your list that maybe aren't aligned with what your goals are? And maybe those need to be moved to your not to-do list, right? And then also think about what are the things that you want to do, but you don't need to do now. So maybe you've been focusing on LinkedIn and working on growing your influence there and your following there. And you want to continue doing that, but you also want to create a presence on Instagram, right? But right now might not be the time for you to do that. Right now, it might be better for you to focus on LinkedIn and really learn how to get the traction that you want there, so that you can not have so much new things that you're doing in LinkedIn. You can learn the ins and outs of that. And then maybe in 2, 3, 4 months, maybe then you revisit the Instagram idea that you had, right? So just be very aware of where you are and what your goals are, and what those sidetracks are that you sometimes find yourself on. And having this not to-do list allows you to stay focused on the things that are really important. And it also helps you avoid those sidetracks that take time away from the things in your business and in your life that are really important. So I want to know from you guys, what questions do you have? And also, now that I've given you some of these other things to think about, what are some other things that maybe should be on your not to do list, or maybe that you're adding to your not to do list? I would love to know that. And before I end today, I know that sometimes it's really hard to know what to focus on, or what to keep focus on, or even when it's time to adjust your focus, especially when it's your own business. Sometimes it's easier when you're looking at somebody else's business and you can see from that outside perspective what's going on there. And that's one of the things that I offer my clients, is that outside perspective. I help them with identifying what their priorities are and how to keep them top of mind and make sure that they get done, and have less overwhelm and have less stress, and just really have more ease in their business and the ability to stay focused. So if you want to explore working with me, I invite you to um, apply for coaching. And you can do that by filling out the form that's at the link that I'll include in the comments. And all you're doing when you're applying for coaching, you fill out the form, and then we set up a time to chat and to find out, what's going on in your business right now, and really what is the next step for you. And sometimes that's working with me, and sometimes that's not. So if that's something that you want to explore, click on the link, fill out the form, and let's have a conversation. And that's it for this week's Wednesday Live with Evie. I hope that you have a couple of things that are being added to your not to do list, and I will see you back here next week. Until then, much love.